The impact of racial profiling on me and others. Explain how racial profiling affects your mental health, your sense of belonging, and your trust in society. Racial profiling is a form of discrimination based on race or ethnicity that affects people's lives in many ways. It can happen when individuals or institutions treat people differently or unfairly because of their skin color, culture, religion, or ancestry. Racial profiling can occur in various settings, such as shops, schools, workplaces, public spaces, or the criminal justice system. Racial profiling is not only unjust and harmful to the people who experience it, but also to the society as a whole. It can have serious and lasting effects on the mental health of individuals and communities who face racism and bigotry on a regular basis. According to research, racial profiling can cause physical and mental health issues such as anxiety attacks, insomnia, nightmares, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, eating disorders, and psychosis. It can also lead to increased stress levels, inflammation, cortisol dysregulation, hypertension, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and alcohol use and misuse. Racial profiling can also affect people's sense of belonging and identity. It can make them feel isolated, unwelcome, unsafe, or inferior in their own society. It can erode their self-esteem, confidence, and dignity. It can also create internalized racism, which is when people of color begin to believe that they are inferior because of their own race. Racial profiling can also damage people's trust in society and its institutions. It can make them feel that they are not valued or respected as equal citizens. It can make them distrustful of authorities, such as police officers, teachers, employers, or government officials. It can also make them fearful of interacting with others who may discriminate against them or harm them. Racial profiling is a serious problem that needs to be addressed and eliminated. It is not only a violation of human rights, but also a threat to social cohesion and harmony. It is a mental health issue because racism causes trauma. And trauma paints a direct line to mental illnesses, which need to be taken seriously. What I did about it, and what you can do too. As you can imagine, I was shocked and angry when I realized that I was racially profiled at a Halifax bakery. I felt humiliated, violated, and discriminated against. I knew I had to do something about it, not only for myself, but for others who might face the same situation. The first thing I did was to speak out. I recorded a video of what happened and posted it on social media. I wanted to raise awareness and expose the injustice that I experienced. I also contacted the bakery owner and demanded an apology and an explanation. I told them that their staff had no right to treat me differently because of my skin color. The second thing I did was to report it. I filed a complaint with the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission, which is an independent agency that investigates and resolves cases of discrimination and harassment. I also contacted the local media and shared my story with them. I wanted to hold the bakery accountable and prevent them from doing this to anyone else. The third thing I did was to seek support. I reached out to my family, friends, and community for emotional and moral support. I also connected with organizations that advocate for racial justice and human rights, such as the Black Cultural Center for Nova Scotia, the African Nova Scotian Decade for People of African Descent Coalition, and the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission. They offered me legal advice, counseling, and resources to cope with the trauma and stress of racial profiling. These are some of the actions that I took to address the issue of racial profiling at a Halifax bakery. But what can you do if you face a similar situation or want to help? Here are some tips and resources for you. If you are racially profiled, don't stay silent. Speak out and document what happened. Record the incident if you can, or write down the details as soon as possible. Get the names and contact information of any witnesses or staff involved. If you are racially profiled, don't let it go. Report it to the authorities and seek legal action if necessary. You have the right to file a complaint with the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission or the police. You can also contact a lawyer or a human rights organization for assistance. If you are racially profiled, don't suffer alone. Seek support from your loved ones and your community. You are not alone in this struggle. There are many people and groups who care about you and want to help you heal and fight for justice. If you witness racial profiling, don't ignore it. Speak up and intervene if it is safe to do so. You can challenge the staff or manager who is doing the profiling, or offer support and solidarity to the person who is being profiled. You can also record or document the incident and report it to the authorities or the media. If you want to help end racial profiling, don't be complacent. Educate yourself and others about the issue and its impacts. Learn about the history and experiences of racialized communities in Nova Scotia and Canada. Listen to their voices and stories, and amplify them on your platforms. If you want to help end racial profiling, don't be passive. Take action and join the movement for racial justice and human rights. You can sign petitions, attend rallies, donate money, volunteer time, or join organizations that are working to end racism and discrimination in our society. Racial profiling is a serious problem that affects many people in our community. It is not only unfair and illegal, but also harmful and traumatic. It has no place in our society, and we must all work together to stop it. Thank you for watching this video and listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to take action and make a difference.